CNN's Scott Jennings. I don't know. Do people still watch CNN? I don't know. I hope not. But I always like when people who I respect are on there. And look, Tiffany Cross is one of them people for sure. She gets busy. She got busy on MSNBC show there, and she continues to tell the truth in public, which is no small thing. She continues to advocate for her position, her politics, her people. I have nothing but admiration and respect for my sister Tiffany Cross. Tiffany Cross went on CNN, and again, she got done dirty by MSNBC. I don't want to. I can't say that enough. But I'm gonna pull this video because I need y'all to see this, and I'll tell y'all the whole story. Let me pull this thing up because it's important. Y'all ready? All right, here it is. Here it is. And I hate showing CNN clips, but it's necessary. I'm glad we're doing it, but it's just like, anyway. Let me reset so that I can have a clean edit, and so that I don't make Princess's job harder. All right, y'all ready? All right, here we go. Professional news voice. CNN's Scott Jennings tried to shut Tiffany Cross down, but as always, our dear sister was not having it. During a heated panel debate on CNN's Newsnight, Cross pushed back on the Republican spin that only Democrats are upset with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. She pointed out that Republican voters at town halls have been just as furious, especially over job losses and other aspects of the economy. But Jennings kept cutting her off, shouting, "There are none," as if no Republican voters are frustrated with Donald Trump, which is bonkers. But a lot of people at this moment don't know what to do. They cower, they get quiet, they bow out, they give up. But not Tiffany Cross, because she is a pro and she is a G. She decided she wasn't going to let that slide. She fired back and demanded that he stop ignoring the facts. The reality, even in red states, voters, including Republicans, are showing up angry and frustrated and demanding answers. But if you listen to Jennings, he just says that ain't happening. You know what? Watch this. Watch this for yourself. Watch this for yourself and see. I don't know. Sometimes it's gonna sound sour grapes, but I feel like at times now CNN doesn't even pretend to try to have a balanced discussion. They're just off the rails. Watch this.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because the Democratic Party on one hand can't seem to figure out how to get the poll numbers right, but on the other hand, they're actually organizing. And I'm saying they're organizing because you heard Chuck Schumer himself said, go out and protest some of these town halls. That's what he said. So these are organized events by Democratic Party members, whether it's sponsored by the congressman or just like this group did, where they've held their own event absent the member of Congress. But they're organized events. They're not there to actually meet with the member of Congress and get a genuine dialogue. They're there to get the viral moment.
Well, the member of Congress is not there, to be fair.
Even when they're there to get the viral moment. They're not there to have a genuine dialogue. They're there to just raise a ruckus and just show the world they're protesting, which is their right to do. But the Republican member of Congress doesn't have to be a party to their own dopey viral moment.
But I think it's a misrepresentation of what happened, because it's not.
But Chuck Schumer said do this.
What you're saying is a misrepresentation of what happened, and I'm so happy to hear you, Scott, be so against vandalism, because certainly the January 6th people completely vandalized not only our Capitol but also just the sanctity. Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear that, because not a lot of people on your side of the aisle do. But I think these are not just Democrat. I know these are not just Democratic voters. These are actually a lot of Republican voters. And respect to my sister Leah here, because I appreciate
your point. I'll give you every dollar in my pocket to find one Republican.
The professional courtesy to finish my point. They are. According to the reporting, they are. According to videos, they are. You're saying don't believe your eyes and ears. I have seen with my eyes and ears.
Of the two of us, who would know more about Republicans, me or you? They are not Republicans in that meeting.
Between the two of us, who's more trustworthy? I would argue me. I'm not here defending this ridiculous administration. But I would say, can I just say though quickly, I would not conflate January 6th protesters with George Floyd protests. I think that is completely different. These were people who were trying to overthrow elections. I think there was a legitimate protest. The Republican voters who do exist, who are there to confront they are. They are. We can agree on basic facts.
Literally
they are. They are.
I'll give you 100 bucks.
If I can have the professional
I'm
courtesy
going to give the professor the last word here.
Can I finish my quick point? I just think for the people who voted for this and are unhappy with it, of which there are plenty of people.
There are none.
Okay, there are plenty of people. There are plenty of people who are not happy with this. I do feel a certain sense of live in it and sit in it, because you all did the effing around and we are doing the finding out. So I don't have a lot of empathy. For
medical bills across.
So there are a few things here. One, watching cable news these days just makes my blood pressure rise. Maybe because I'm not on it anymore, not in a hating way, I forget the pace of it. The pace of cable news is it's like fast, a lot of interruption, and then go to commercial, right? And that's just the nature of the genre. That's not any particular network, that's all of them. And it doesn't lend itself to the possibility of actually arriving anywhere. But watching that is wild for so many ways. It's wild for so many reasons, excuse me. How can I put it? First, there's just a disgusting, unnecessary interruption and disrespect of the guests. Tiffany listened while this man said his position, and then when it was time to respond, they interrupted the entire time. So then you have to spend your time fighting against the interruption as opposed to saying your name. It's a classic tactic. They make these ridiculous arguments like, who would know more about Republicans, me or you? Arguments that resonate with idiots, but not with people with common sense. Yeah, he may know more about Republicans than Tiffany Cross, but that doesn't negate the fact that there's clear data. They're actually arguing that no Republican is upset with Donald Trump or feels dissatisfied with Donald Trump or with the Republican Party. That's literally what he's arguing. That is such an absurd argument that it should be rejected on its face. Nobody should be having a real conversation about whether or not 100% of any people are happy with everybody. But they're having it. And then the guy, I'll give you $100 right now. Name one. Like, what am I supposed to say? Harry Jenkins on 52nd Street? Like, it's a stupid tactic. He asked her to name one and she couldn't name one. She doesn't need to be able to name a name. What she can do is look at the videos, as she said. She can look at the data. You can look at the polls. Are most Republicans happy? Sure, but not all of them. And this isn't some pedantic 1.00001% or some shit. No, a significant slice are unhappy for legitimate reasons. There are a lot of Republicans who don't rock with Donald Trump. And even if they want him to be president over Biden, they still aren't happy for lots of reasons. But this becomes the conversation. And it's infuriating. And they kept trying to cut her off. And the thing you have to do when you're in those waters is not let them cut you off. You cannot let them cut you off. They'll make you look like the crazy, rude guest. They'll make you look like the angry person. But you got to keep going. Why? Because if not, your point will never get made. And so she fought to have her point made. And she made the January 6th point. She did an excellent job. This is what you got to do in these spaces. It's just, I'm tired of the fact that we have to be in these spaces. Again, I'm grateful to Tiffany Cross for doing it. I hope I never have to do that as a full-time job again. I ain't saying I never go on those shows, but like, I would never want to do that as a full-time job again. My Lord. The gaslighting of it all. It's crazy. They're literally trying to tell you, he said not one Republican is upset with Donald Trump. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to belabor the point, but my God. And you're absolutely right. That does happen on Piers Morgan. Ziki, yeah, you're absolutely right, Zach. This does happen on Piers Morgan. It's rough. Somebody asked me if I think it might have been you, Tropical. The question was like, isn't Al Jazeera cable news? No, I don't think so. Why do I say it's not cable news? Well, it doesn't come on cable. In the United States, I don't know a network that plays Al Jazeera, but it's not just in a technical sense, because I'm not trying to be technical here. It's the idea that Al Jazeera is outside of that genre. You know, when we have debates to 30 minutes, 20 minutes, you know, I'm not out here giving people 3 minutes to debate whether racism is real or not. You know, the BBC doesn't do that. There are lots of places that don't do that. Unfortunately, U.S. cable news does, and it cheapens the conversation. It reduces the conversation to next to nothing. It's tough. Anyway, somebody said the piercification of these shows. I mean, I hear you, but I don't want to give Pierce that much credit or that much criticism. The truth is, cable news has been like that since Crossfire, the original Crossfire. I mean, Tucker Carlson back in the 80s or 90s, I guess, late 80s, early 90s, was involved in this kind of stuff. I'm not blaming Tucker Carlson. I'm saying CNN, and they had people like Tucker on and others to debate. And the idea was, you know what? We get higher ratings when people are arguing, not when they're having spirited dialogue, not when they're having a panel of people who happen to disagree, but when we have a head-to-head battle